Hey YouTube, what's going on? Graylan Stewart here. I'm a virtual wholesaler and we also do some flips and we also buy and hold for long-term wealth. So today I'm going to do a video just to kind of show you one of the flips that I did, and I'll also kind of give you backstory on this deal. So this was a flip that is done really out of necessity. So what happened was we got this deal. We got it for $55,000. Okay. Now this was a really good deal. We kind of estimated the ARV was about 150, and we were thinking that the repairs may be 20 to 30 depending on what you do. So long story short, we marketed this property out for I think it was about $100,000, just trying to get 100 just to see what we can do on it. Anyway, we had someone buy it. We agreed on $92,500. So if you do the math, our assignment fee would have been $38,500. Okay, so hopefully you follow me. All right, so fast forward. Now we're getting to closing date, and this was like mid-October, somewhere around that time, mid-October of 2020. Okay, so we get to closing date. We're literally like 3 hours from closing on this deal. I get a phone call from the buyer. He said, "Hey, me and my team are gonna walk the property, do our final walkthrough." So I'm like, that's cool. You know, most buyers want to see a final walkthrough just to make sure it's exactly the way it was when they saw it last, right? No other issues happened or anything crazy. Making sure the house is still there, like it didn't burn down or anything else. So anyways, they did their walkthrough. He calls me at this point, it's like 2 hours before closing. He calls me up and said, "Hey, I got a problem." I'm like, okay, great. What's going on? So he said, well, basically, I'm not going to do this deal. We're not going to be able to make it happen. I'm like, what happened? You know, keep in mind, I was actually in town at this time because, you know, we wholesale in a different state, like 800 miles away, mostly. So anyways, I was in town at this time, and I actually walked the property with this buyer just so I could meet him myself. And we walked this inside and out for almost 2 hours. I mean, I even let them ask the seller questions. I didn't really care because I already knew, you know, it was a done deal and it wasn't that big a deal. So him and one of his friends walked the property with me for almost 2 hours inside and out. Got every detail of every situation possible, right? So anyway, so the day of closing, 2 hours before, he tells me that he can't do the deal. So I'm telling him, you know, what's happening, you know. And he pretty much said, well, there's foundation issues and there's this and that. It's just more than I actually thought. And, you know, I talked to my mentor and, you know, he basically told me that, you know, I should walk away. I'm like, are you kidding? So what happened to when we walked this together? What happened to all those things that you said, you know, this is a great deal. Thanks for hooking me up, you know, because I gave him a decent deal. We were asking 100. We did it for 92.5 because that's what we agreed on at the end of that conversation on the day we walked it for 2 hours. So I'm like, what happened to all that? You know, what changed? Nothing is different. It's exactly the way it was when we agreed on it before. And he just made all kinds of excuses. He's like, well, I think the foundation will be more than I even thought. You know, I'm like, we already knew there was foundation issues, and it's just in the master bedroom area. You know, I'm like, that's not going to cost that much. You know, up here is $1,000. It might need $7. You know, so anyways, so we were still thinking like the repairs are probably still there. It's, you know, 20, 25 grand. You know, 30 if you want to do every single thing possible. You know, it was still a deal. And anyway, long story short, he's like, well, I'm just not going to do it. So then he calls me like 30 minutes before closing. Maybe a little bit earlier, maybe 45 minutes or so before closing. So keep in mind that, you know, the seller's probably already on the way there, and, you know, everything is a go as of now. So he's calling me. He's like, you know what? I'll go ahead and close on the deal, but I'll do it for $58,000. So no, wait, what was it? So we bought it for 55. He said, I'll do it for $61,000. So basically we would have made $6,000 instead of 38. So now keep in mind, when we send our assignment contract, it doesn't show our assignment fee. So, you know, I should have did a double close because they eventually get to see that, because the title company is going to email them, you know, the title commitment and the title insurance the day before. so they can actually see our assignment fee at that point. So it's my fault probably, because 38,000 really in this area, if it's over 15 grand, you should probably double close, because our average in that area is probably 13,000, maybe somewhere in there, maybe 15. But so basically, I should have double closed it, so it's kind of my fault. But at the same time, the buyer really, what it comes down to, he didn't like what we were making on it. That's the bottom line. He didn't like that we were making 38,500. And then he tried to stick it to us, at the last minute. It's like basically saying, hey, you're worth $6,000 instead of 38. So never let a buyer tell you what you're worth or tell you what your deal's worth, because, that's not cool. So a newbie wholesaler, or probably the average wholesaler out there, probably would have been stuck and said, okay, fine. Maybe I could have talked him up to 10, but, I wasn't having that. It was an amazing deal. So I was like, no, forget it. I'm closing on it myself. So, luckily when you have wholesales all the time, you end up, getting some decent fees, in your account. So I had enough to close on it, is the long story short. So I actually closed on the property myself. Still made the seller happy. We weren't as happy. Acquisitions was disappointing because that was their biggest deal. This particular acquisition manager, that was going to be her biggest deal yet for 38.5, and it was a smoking deal for us. So we were both disappointed big time. But at the same time, I'm like, well, don't worry about it. I'm going to close on it. We're going to make more in the future. So what I could have did was close on it myself with my own company, and just paid our average assignment fee, which is kind of what our policy is. If I want to keep a house or flip a house, then I just pay the average assignment fee, and the average assignment fee was, 10 or 12,000 at that time. So I could have paid that fee, and then just went on the day. Our acquisition manager would have made their percentage off of that 10 or 12 grand, and then I could have continued flipping it and then got my profits on the back end. So, anyways, I didn't do that. I wanted everybody to make a lot of money, so I went ahead and told the acquisitions that, hey, I'll even pay you on the flip, so don't worry about it. We're gonna still make a lot of money on this. So we went ahead and flipped it. So I want to kind of show you the progress. Now that it's finished, we bought it for 55. I think I'm in it for maybe 35 on top of that. So about for 90ish. And then we actually got a full price offer for $170,000. So it's a pretty good deal still. 170 from 90 after all fees, and then I'm paying commissions and everything else. We should probably still make close to 60,000 or so net profit after paying everybody and everything. So it's a blessing in disguise. I still would have rather have the 38, because remember, a quick nickel is better than a slow dime in my opinion. And it took us 3 months to make an extra 25 or so, or however much that is, which is awesome, and it definitely is worth waiting, which is cool. But at the same time, that was a distraction too, because then I had to manage a flip, had to go through all of that process of getting that done, which is cool. But it also took me away from my normal duties, running the company and doing the marketing, all those kind of things, because now all of a sudden I was managing a flip every day out of necessity. Sure, we made an extra 25, but did I lose more in the meantime because of that? I don't know. But either way, we're all going to make good money on it. So I just wanted to share some pictures with you. So check these out right here. Hold on. All right, what's up? So we're going to show you, I don't know why I just opened that. I'm going to show you these pictures, but let me show you our before pictures. Yeah, so this is our before pictures right here of this property. And it wasn't a bad looking property to begin with. Of course, that's the outside. It needed a little TLC, but it's actually in pretty good condition overall. So that was the front of the house. Here's the kitchen. As you can see, needs a lot of work. I mean, it doesn't need a lot of work, but it just needs some love. Countertops could need help. This whole thing above here could definitely be removed just so that looks better. So let's see the living room, and I'm going to show you the after pictures. I'm just going to show you a couple of these befores, but you can kind of see the living room. It's just real dated. Look at this big open space at the top. The lady was claustrophobic, so she didn't want that to be to the ceiling, which is pretty strange, but whatever. That's how some people are. But compared to most houses that we buy, to be honest, this one is much better than the average house. So But here's the outside. You can see it's pretty messed up. It needs a lot of new siding and some window work, fascia, all these things out here just kind of needs a little love. Let me show you an inside picture. That's a good one, I think. Let's see here, because there's this one, the biggest transformation we did in here. Yeah, that's not the one I'm looking for. That's the same living room picture, it looks like. But the biggest transformation that we actually did in this room or in this house is we added a third bedroom. Let me show you, if I can find that picture, what it looked like previously. It was actually the lady's office. So that room was huge. No, that's the bedroom. I guess I can just click on these and you can see the little small pieces over there. I'm not going to open them large. It'll go faster. Okay. But the lady had a giant office, is kind of what she called it. But it was just a huge room, like probably 20 by 10 approximately. But also right beside that, you can see all these pictures on my right as I talk. But also, there's that hallway. So also beside this room was this big hallway. So obviously that's like 5 feet wide. So when you add that 20-foot room with this, it's about 25 feet. So what I decided to do was put a wall in between it. So both rooms, by the time you add the wall and, the spacing and all that, both rooms are probably about 11 feet by 10 feet each. Now here's the actual, I'll open this one bigger so you can kind of see the full room. This is from the doorway all the way across the room. So that's about a 20 by 10 room right there. You can see over here is a closet. It's a pretty big closet, and then a little half bathroom over there as well. So now that you see that, let me just show you the after pictures. Check that out. Just keep that in mind. Now we did new everything pretty much in this house. So, whoops, I lost that. I shouldn't have X'd out of it, but let me just pull it back up real quick. Bear with me. All right, I got a ton of files in here, so bear with me while I find this. All right, here we go. We're almost there. Property pictures. Whoops. This house. Now we'll show you the Mls pictures. So this is after everything's finished and completed. Okay. So here we go. That's the outside now. So you can see we did all new siding, all new paint on this over here. We actually had to replace all that wood over there because a lot of it was rotten. We did do a gray trim. It's hard to see on this picture because it's further away, and it wasn't as dark as I wanted, so it didn't pop as well as it could have. But I will show you this view right here was the one that had all the siding that was really torn up and worn out. So we did replace all of that, and there's actually a better picture of that, which is the same view from a minute ago. That one's not it, but that's the outside still. Let me just go through a couple of these here to kind of give you an idea of how this turned out. Because it's a whole lot nicer. Obviously, it's kind of in the winter time, so the grass isn't green anymore. But this is the front door. If you remember, it had that big, ugly wall unit, and these two doorways were not there because there was a hallway right over here. That was that 5-foot hallway, and the doorway was on the other side of that. So these are two new spots because the wall is right here in the middle. Okay, so now it's two rooms right there. And then as you can see, the kitchen, remember it had that huge built-in over here that was super ugly and real dark. So all new paint. We did all new fixtures, all new hardware on the doors, all new plug-in outlets even. So all that's brand new. And then this just looks 100 times better. It's super open now without that big wall unit. That was even because this was going all the way to the ceiling and just dark brown like that wall unit was over here. But as you can see, it's a big open concept now. Huge living room, big dining area, and the kitchen is decent size and it's all open. So it turned out really well. This is the view from the other side. We refinished the countertops with some epoxy, one of the contractors that we use. It's like $300 to do that as opposed to adding granite for $1,200, $1,500, we kept the same appliances because they worked well. We just cleaned them up really good. So there you can see that it actually looks like granite. That's pretty cool. counters. So we didn't change a lot of that stuff. We just made it look better. Okay. Here's the kitchen again. So that's just from the other view. Let me show you one of the bedrooms. Okay. So this is the added bedroom. So back here, let's see, let me think where this is. Yeah, so this is one of the added bedrooms. We added the closet over here. Let me show you this other picture. That might be the same one. Yep. No, that's what that was. That was the master bedroom. Okay, this is the master bedroom. Before, this was super ugly. It had all the ugly wallpaper and real dark and dingy. And this is the one that needed foundation work, which we did put the piers in. And I actually got those done for $3,500 for 7 piers. So I got a smoking deal on it. So that was pretty cool. Let me show you a few more here. That's the actual master bathroom. That was all dark and dingy. We kept the cabinets, just painted them, refinished the countertops like the other one. And that's just another view of that bathroom. Another view of the same bathroom. Let's go through. Oh yeah, so there's the huge laundry room, as you can see over here. It's kind of small, sorry. The bathroom is a complete remodel. So there's actually 2.5 baths, but this bathroom, everything in here is brand new. New sink, new cabinet, new toilet, all new tile, new bathtub, new mirror, new paint. Everything about it is new on that one. Now this right here is just a close-up of the actual tile. It looks pretty good. Let's see what that is. That's just another view of the bathroom, as you can see it. Now this is the second bedroom that we actually added. You can see we had to add a window because there wasn't one on both sides. And here's the other view of that same bedroom with this added closet in here as well. And then you can kind of see the view into the kitchen from that space. And then this is the other side of that room that had the walk-in closet that had the door shut, that was brown and ugly, and the half bath. Now the half bath looks really good. All we did was paint it. We actually used the same sink, same toilet, same mirror even. The mirror's kind of ugly, but it's not a high-end flip. It's a lower-end flip, so you don't want to over-improve something and be stuck holding the bag, okay? So overall, this is the picture I was looking for earlier. This is that same view where all this was kind of torn off and torn down fence and all kinds of craziness. But back here used to be a back door. That was the hallway. We just added a window for that one room. We had to do a new window on the other one. So anyway, so that's really it. I mean, it turned out great. So I'll show you this Excel sheet even. This is the Excel sheet of that property. We ended up spending, I haven't put all these in yet, but we ended up spending $32,363. So I'm gonna get my calculator out just to do a quick math. We sold it for $170. Take out 32,000. That is 170 from 32, 138 minus 55. So it's $83,000. But keep in mind, we gotta pay closing costs and the realtor fees, which is around 10% or so by the time it's all said and done. And then we got to pay acquisitions. So after paying everybody, we should make close to 60 or so, 55 to 60. So hopefully all that makes sense. And just wanted to share that with you and just show you the power of a flip. We don't flip on purpose, like I said before, but we just flipped this one out of necessity because we had a loser buyer that backed out last day. And luckily, we have the funds to be able to close on it ourselves, and we made it a great product. So that's really the only time we actually flip houses. So is when we're kind of stuck doing it, but only if it's a good deal, because we could have still backed out or could have took his lowball $6,000 offer and moved on, but we didn't, and we ended up doing this. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, subscribe. Definitely leave me some comments to let me know if you liked the property or not. See if we did a good job, or tell me you hate it. I don't really care. Just let me know what you think and give me your thoughts. Talk to you guys later. Thanks a lot. See ya.